Hey, my name's John. I'm a dad going through a divorce, and I'm an alcoholic. On today's episode of Is It God or Is It a Coincidence? Man, there's some really truly special stuff happening around me right now. And I know in recovery you can tend to be around a lot of people where it's just like a little ho-hum, and even though the book says we're not a glum lot, it can feel glum, especially when you're around a lot of newcomers, because goddamn, kind of in the shitty part right here, right? But I went to a meeting today that was special to the point that, a woman walked by me as I was driving out, and we both stopped and said that was truly special. She said, I'm crying. Absolutely incredible. We do a meeting every Saturday on the beach. People bring chairs, whatnot. Usually it's, 10, 15 people. And today it was almost like the floodgates were opening, and it didn't start until the meeting really started, right? They said right before, 7:30, there was like 5 or 6 people there, and then 10, and then 15, and people that we hadn't seen just kept kind of funneling in, and it was pretty incredible. Come to find out, there was a young couple here that was in the program here for their wedding. And it was a lot of their family and friends from in and out of the program, and how special it was to have this meeting on the beach. And the cool thing about this meeting is we get shells instead of a chip. So they give them to all the newcomers. And I remember last week, the lady saying, hey, I'm almost out of shells. And they're beautiful, hand-painted. You put a date on them. I've got mine on my shelf here. It's beautiful. You get one for going to your first meeting there as well. So it's not just 24 hours or what have you, which you normally get a white chip, but you get a painted one there if you're just a visitor. It's truly special. And I sat down next to this lady just by happenstance today because I walked in at 7:28, so I was one of the early ones. And we got to talking a little bit, and she said, oh, my husband's going to kill me. I've spent, the last week or two painting all these shells for today. I think I'm all caught up. We should be good for a while now, because she was joking. She was about to run out last week. And as we're sitting and this meeting's going and we're talking about fellowship and gratitude, and it was such a nice, joyous meeting for sure. And I see her start counting these shells, and then she normally writes the date on the back of the shells. And, it's giving me chills just thinking about it. And we get to the end of the meeting, and I think we could have stayed there for 2 hours. I mean, I don't even think half the people shared, but it was just glorious. It was truly special. And she stands up to give the shells and said, I've spent weeks painting these to get caught up, and hopefully we've got enough. And she wrote the date of the meeting on the back of the shell, and that young couple that's going to get married today has their wedding date on a shell. And it's, you could think of a chip or a shell as something that's kind of sad or depressing, but holy cow, what a truly special thing for them to receive with their friends and family, to sit there on a beach with all of them around. Half of us were all strangers, but all of us were friends. It gives me chills just thinking about it now. And the meeting closed, and I was, picking up my chair, putting it on my back, and one of the gals from my morning meeting who I chatted about, I had seen in church on Sunday. She handed me my 90-day chip just a couple weeks ago. She came up to me because I sat down next to her on Friday this week and talked to her and said, hey, it was really special to see you in church and for you to give me my chip. It's just, there's all these, is it God or is it a coincidence moments that are happening around me. And she comes up and she goes, it was really special that you said that to me. And she hands me a bracelet. It says, trust God more and believe. And again, getting chills. But in that moment, 20 people got shells today that, last week there wouldn't have been shells for them, but because that gal had spent time on it, she had shells. Now, was it God or a coincidence that she worked on it all week? I don't know. Was it God or coincidence that that gal was in the front of church and I chatted with her and told her how special that was to me on Friday? I don't know. But I do know that it was a special moment, and I will say that in my heart, I'm going to say it's God, not a coincidence. What a truly, truly special thing. So I hope everyone's having a great Saturday, and looking forward to talking to you next time.